lost and I know where to go now. I don't really have a place to call my home now. Everybody hating on a physical now. Why do everybody make me feel alone? Like I'm trying lost and I know where to go now. I don't really have a place to call.
Hey guys, this is Evil Anime here. I just want to say this. I'm planning to do a Discord so you guys could give me ideas of what ifs or anything in general, like anything what ifs. And I'm sorry for the live stream of yesterday on my birthday. I couldn't do the live stream properly. I just want to say this. I'm sorry. And let's continue with the what if. What if Naruto was neglected in a prophecy? The baby's coos of Naruto Uzumaki was heading through all of the hospital as Kushina lay in her bed snuggling a small figure who she had recently given birth to. Minato's, the fourth Hokage, had sat next to her. His wife had clapped in his Kushina was extremely sweaty and tired, and she gave a small smile to Minato as she clenched her child dearly. Naruto watched as he sat at the stool he was told to sit until Kushina called him. Naruto just continued to look down at his shoes, which flowed above his surface. Now, seeing that his 3-year-old has an only child were gone. Hey Kushina, what should I do? We name her. Minato coded. Playing with the child, Kushina was clenching. Kushina just smiled, petting the soft baby. Heading, we should name her Nato. She spoke softly, kissing the child's head. That's perfect, Minato exclaimed, holding Kushina's hand warmly. Nato and Naruto, next best Kunoichi and Shinobi of the village, Minato cheered, looking back at Naruto, who laughed. Kushina just chuckled, looking up at Naruto from her position on her bed. I can't wait to see that the day she really tearily wiping her tears that training from her face because her picture perfect family. I love you, my children. We will never grow apart. It has been 1 year. Naruto is 4 years old. Naruto is one. Due to the advanced training from her parents, can already speak broken sentence and realize what's going on around her. Although her exact thoughts on the matter may be slight off. Naruto, on the other hand, ever since Naruto's birth, has had teach himself, often sneaking into the library and studying the he needed to know for his classes in the academy, which were starting that year. He has started to learn basic ninjutsus, although he struggles and has yet to proven effectively, which any medical skills Naruto gazed out of the window, though began to notice pleasing him as he read the books and dining table, the dim light filling the page. He noticed a woman approaching his door. A lot of strangers had come to his door, demanding that they get the honor to destroy the QB brat, and had to come with the brat with a knife. After Kushina and Minato had let them in, Naruto would run out the back window and to the woods, one of only safe places. Kushina pulled the door open, her face cringed in confusion as she looked at the person in the doorway. It was an old woman with gray hair and still ivory eye. She was thin and small, her entire figure giving off the vibe of Frigley that only came from glass vase. She looked up at Kushina and glared, evidence in her eyes as she spoke raspberry. How much like water hints of flame. You are Kushina Uzumaki, the strongest Kunoichi in this village, correct? the woman asked. Matter of factly, her strained eyes flickered up to Kushina's red hair. Yes. Why you ask? I'm afraid I don't know you. What are you here for? She asked kindly, placing her hand in the pockets of her apron. Discarding the flooring stain her hands, the woman just nodded, uninteresting. As she looked around, Kushina seeing a small blond boy and a little girl. She gave a small smile as gently picked up Naruto. These are your children, correct? She said gently, playing with Naruto as she giggled. Kushina gave a gentle smile, picking up Naruto and holding her waist. Yes, these two are blondes of my joy, she said cheerfully, ruffling Naruto's hair. The old woman proceeded to feel the infant's head before she let out a gasp. Her eyes turned milky white as her voice suddenly became loose, watery, shaky. My, this child is in pain. This child holds an unbearable sinful, she said slowly, began to touch Nato's head. With her long figure, these two will have a quiet rivalry. You, unless you change your ways. Will you neglect one of your children's for holding something they can't control? Underestimating is seen in your future. If you're not careful, I can tell you this. One of the siblings will be raised, but one shall be saving this village in the greatest times, she finished, removing her hands from the children head as she let out a cough, as she if the memories she was being given were choking her. Kushina was in awe. Her fiery red hair limped at her side as she looked at the woman, wondering if she was crazy. It looked about a minute to process, but after the raw silence, Kushina broke out into a rage. How dare you say I will neglect my children's? I love them, both of them, she said angrily, snuggling Nato closer to her waist. The woman then let out a scoff, panting Naruto's warm yellow hair. Then why don't you only clench one child to your waist? Why do you let people in? Along with your son, who always stumbles out with a fresh bruise every time you citizens make a visit, she said coolly, setting down the child carefully as he giggled and stumbled away from Kushina, just clenching Natsu rider on her body. Her eyes widened at the woman. She pointed the door angrily as she growled, Get out of my house, old hag. I love my children. Despite your accusations, she growled, seemingly unaware of her starting to neglect. That's fine. You seem to not notice the process has already started. I will pray for this angel boy, she said kindly, watching Naruto stumble around the living room. Kushina rolled her eyes, done with the woman prophecies foretelling. Get out of my house. This is prophecy is obviously fake. Kushina stuttered and focused now on the woman, scoffed across her arms. As you wish, elderly woman said, scoffed. Before I disappear, all the whispers of smoke became left as the only reminder of her which Kushina waved away. Quickly the air was warm. Nato and Naruto gave a smile to the red-haired mother, grabbing them by their waists, snuggling them right. How could I neglect you? Naruto let out a huff as he ran barefoot, rock cut into his feet. He cursed Minato for not buying him shoes, fear filling his body as he left himself slowing down a gray wall blocking any interesting for escaping. The clanging of weapons got louder and louder as Naruto clawed the wall so much that his finger bled before being tossed to the ground. Beginning to cry, Naruto hugged himself, refusing to look at the villagers. They were scary and somewhat insane. Whimpering at the villagers turning him over, he let out a blood-curdling scream as he felt the kunai digging into his skin. He yelled as the man curved a letter into his back, spelling out demon. Discarding the tears, Naruto wept so loudly and so innocent. So the rest of the night was hell for Naruto. Burning, cutting, stabbing, bruising, all the things Naruto had experienced before the age of 10, clutching his bloody stomach. The villagers left soon enough, leaving Naruto to cough and cry under his breath. Weakly picking himself up, Naruto started to journey back home. He knew he would be punished by Kushina for being late, but he couldn't move any faster than he was. Dizzy hitting him in waves as he stumbled to one side before falling over. His eyelids were heavy as they slammed shut, revealing the large orange fox, the Ninetales. Naruto looked up at the Ninetales curiously, who growled at him before speaking. Who dares enter my cage? He growled again, looking at Naruto maniacally. Naruto just coughed and looked up at him, raising his hand. Me, Mr. QB, sir. Do you have a name? Naruto asked calmly, wanting to know the demon that sat with him. The QB, no, Kitsune, was shown the boy, wanting to know more about the very demon that had made him have an unhappy childhood he lived through. It's Kurama. And yours? The QB said, somewhat irritated, standing on his paw. Naruto beamed a smile and laughed. It's Naruto Uzumaki, the next Hokage. He giggled, pointing to Kurama wistfully. Kurama just nodded, watching Naruto cheeks his watched. No, no. I'm late, Kushina. Going to kill me, Naruto yelled, walking up as Kurama spoke in his mind. Do they hurt you, kid? Kurama asked quietly, pacing around his cage. Yes, they do. As soon as I learn ninjutsu, I'm leaving, he muttered under his breath as he raced home. We can run away tomorrow. I'll teach you, Kurama offered, looking up into Naruto's mind. That'll be great. Naruto smiled, knocking on the door quietly. The door then opened. Kushina pulled open the door, her sharp figure maniacally against the ink-black sky, who woved around Naruto. Kushina scoffed her voice angrily. Where the hell have you been? She asked coldly as she looked down at Naruto's small bloody figure. Holding back tears from the memory began to speak. The villagers, they called me a demon. They tortured me. They beat me up, Naruto said painfully before he was cut off, and bruised and pain grew in Naruto's cheeks. As Kushina's hand rose, she growled, lies. The villagers would never hurt anyone. Get out of my sight, she spat. Minato glided from his position on the couch. As Naruto smirked, Naruto headed up the stairs and freezing room. He sat on the cold floor, setting up a mind linked with Kurama. Naruto loved the darkness. He could slink through the streets and not be seen. Naruto walked into a shoe store. The counterman, seeing who he was, scowled and didn't help Naruto fit the shoes. After Naruto decided to wear some blue sandal shoes, he bought them in front of the counter. Looking down, the title brat needs some shoes. Yes, sir. I do need some shoes. Well, I don't think you